the original Season 3, Episode 2, You Hung the Moon. Definitely a great second episode for this season because not only do we get Haley and the Wolves back, although we really only focus on Haley and her husband, of course, but we get what is automatically going to be the best storyline Davina has had so far because it started off simple. It's like, alright, she took Haley, which was already pretty crazy because they're fairly good friends, and then she kind of was like, as much as I like you, not helping, Klaus out. So they started off with some tension, and then it's like, I'm gonna help you as long as you kill the person I want dead. And then mass chaos. She kills the woman off, and of course, I gotta kind of put this on Haley because I was like, she killed this woman. I'm like, she's gonna get caught. She's just strolling away like nothing's gonna happen. I'm like, she should have snapped her neck and just sped straight out of there. But of course, she didn't. And then we get what seems like it's gonna actually affect Haley, which I think is a pretty cool concept. But she has to deal with all these witches and warlocks coming at her, and then as much as she was in pain with her hybrid ability, she's able to fight off the pain and the spell. So she's ripping people's arms off, ripped somebody's head off, just destroyed everyone, and now there's 11 dead people. And Davina isn't just like, oh, this is such a tragedy, whatever, whatever, I'll protect you guys. That woman's son is going after Davina, and he's going to try to get rid of her. And basically, like he put it, he's going to try to erase Davina. And I thought that was so cool because it seemed like it was over. Fairly simple. They would kind of join under Davina, and then they'd be protected. But he's like, she went after you, and poof, she's dead. Like, the next day, she's dead, along with 10 other people. So, I'm going to get back at you. So, I'm looking forward to that. We didn't really, we don't know who this guy is yet. We just know that he's the son of the woman that died. But I think we're going to get to know him fairly well this season, and I'm looking forward to that because we don't have, we've had, of course, like, the witches have played a huge part in the storyline. But this is like our main witch character. I guess not counting Freya because she is a witch now, so we have her too. I guess technically Rebecca too. It's kind of weird. Like three other characters, and now it's like they added in Freya, and now it's just like witches all over the place. But one of our main witch characters has her own storyline, and she's really separated from everyone else. Like Davina doesn't help the originals. She can't even really be hanging out with Marcel too much. So she's kind of just off on her own. Like, that's really all there is to it. So I'm really looking forward to her storyline because that was just very exciting to see. I was like, I love that ending because it wasn't over. And I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be pretty crazy because she is by herself. She's getting a little bit of advice from Marcel, but things just went south. She wanted one person dead and then 11 people were killed. It's going to be chaos for her. And if she does get busted, she's either gonna get expelled or she's gonna have to wipe out every single witch, and I don't see that one happening because in this episode alone, the ancestors were trying to cut her off from using her powers to kill off another witch. But it's like, okay, well, sadly, one witch dead is worth killing off Klaus as well. But no one, of course, saw 11 dead witches, so the ancestors are probably feeling a little stupid now. Like, it's more than we thought. But it was definitely really cool. I love that storyline. The stuff with Lucian was almost insane, to be totally honest. He not only has this weird, somehow he has a freaking hybrid cure, which is insane. Like, to say the least, that was insane. It wasn't what I thought it was either. I thought, very simply, I was like, oh, he didn't go to Klaus because he has Klaus's blood. He stole their blood at some point, which, now that I think about that, wouldn't matter either, because, or I guess it would, because if it was Klaus's blood, he was technically always a hybrid. So, I guess in that sense, it would have been totally fine. It could have worked. But he had like this random, like these 5 little vials of just like white stuff, and I don't understand what that is. Like, and it couldn't be white oak because that would kill anyone, I believe. So I don't believe that's what he injected into him, but it didn't just let him heal. It like burned the venom away. So it's something, and I just don't know. Like, maybe it is something to do with the white oak steak, and I guess technically since it's just a serum, it wouldn't kill him, because in the season finale, the white oak stake like exploded all over Rebecca, Klaus, and Elijah, and nothing happened. It was like, oh well, they inhaled it, but they weren't stabbed with it. So maybe that is the case. And since the venom was in his bloodstream, he could basically just go boom, liquid white oak stake, and it would be like stabbing one of the originals, and it cured his system like that. I'm guessing that's it. That's like my only guess. But that came out of nowhere. I was like, holy crap. And of course, he easily could have gone to Klaus, which I think was really funny, but they had to give us something to see. Because he could have easily gone there and be like, well, why waste one of my nice little vials when I could just get the blood from the source? But they had to give us something really crazy to just fangasm over. So I don't know where that came from, how, or anything, but really awesome. So I love that. He decided to put himself out there a little bit with the reporter woman and giving her all the information about his murders and stuff. I guess he just wants the city to panic. So I don't know what the case is. I mean, it's just weird. He's just a weird character right now. It's like, okay, so he was in love with the princess from the past who is still alive. We also find out in this episode that her brother's still alive. So I'm like, we're missing some major flashback stuff here. We got it in the first episode, and I'm like, both of them are still alive. We need to go back to that and see what the heck is going on. We find out she's totally effing insane, apparently. She wasn't just mad. She's like a crazy mad vampire who's basically like off in a temple somewhere, and Aurora's just insane. So she lost her mind, and I'm guessing it was a few years ago, and that's why she and Lucian broke up. So she went insane. Her brother's doing whatever, and now he's coming to town. So he's basically like, Tristan's trying to keep her alive and keep her safe. So who knows? I'm definitely looking forward to whenever they give us this flashback, because it was like, all right, well, Lucian, of course, they turned him. He was just one of the people, he helped them get in the castle. Okay. And then in the last episode, it was like, me and Aurora broke up centuries ago. And I was like, okay, so she got turned into a vampire for sure. And then in this episode, it was like the same thing. It was like in passing, which I kind of love, to be totally honest. It's just like, here's really big information. And it's just like, oh, Tristan's doing this and doing that. It's like, oh, so he's a vampire too. And we just kind of have to wait for the flashbacks. And I kind of like that aspect. It's just like, in passing, those people are still alive, and so they're vampires. So I thought that was a cool way to do that. But it does bring up a big question. Who knows if Tristan is going to be good or bad? We don't know what his sire line is. We don't know if Aurora has, like both of them could be from separate sire lines. All three of these characters, which I think would be very cool, could be from the other original. So it could be like Lucian, of course, was to Klaus. It could be Aurora to Rebecca and stuff like that. Like they do the guys with the guys and the girl with the girl. So that could be the case. That could be how things play out. I don't think that's how it's going to play out, but who knows who they're sired to, and they could be a part of this crazy war. So I don't know. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And Tristan coming in, they'll probably mention who he's sired to and how he fits into the whole crazy war. But we find out officially that Aurora's kind of insane. They have a cool little sword fight. They have sort of I thought it was actually very interesting because they use katanas, but he was fighting like he had a rapier, sort of. I just thought that was cool. I was like, I've never seen that before. So we get that little scene with him. He's going to be in the show, I'm assuming, in the next episode. And then the other really cool stuff we have, one of my favorite scenes, actually, is Elijah going to Lucian in this one, which was pretty badass because I feel like this happens a lot with Elijah. When he's always trapped or something, he can't go somewhere, I feel like it's always Elijah that gets the scenes where it's like, okay, you said something that pissed me off, and then he breaks something in the background, and then he just throws it and just impales people. It's either him or Klaus. And so it was super cool in this one because he threw it straight through Lucian's neck, which was just insane. And then he was teaming up with the guy. I wish I could remember his name. I always forget his name. But he's teaming up with Haley's husband, and he just bolts in there and then bites him right on the arm. I was like, man, that was a badass team up. So I love that scene. And of course, Elijah's relationship with Lucian and him hearing about the war and stuff like that was pretty interesting. And then that, of course, leads Elijah to Freya, who gives us the full version of this prophecy, because apparently the woman who does it gives like the half-ass version where it's just like, yep, evil, and then Freya does the spell, and we get like this whole version where one person's gonna die by an enemy, one's gonna die by a friend, and the other's supposedly gonna die by a family member. And of course, I think all signs kind of point to Klaus killing off someone else because that's Klaus's nature. But it could be the reverse. It would be unbelievable if any of them died, but if that were the case, it would be pretty interesting. So of course, it throws out this huge net because now, with the family thing, it's just a triangle. It's one of these three people. But then we have a friend, which I would put my bets on Cammy just because it seems like it would be Cammy, for Klaus at least. For foe, I would assume it would be Elijah. Um, for anyone, I don't know. It could be Lucian for Elijah. He, of course, he says like, "Oh, I wouldn't target you because then I'd be on the run from Rebecca and Klaus." But I don't know. Like Rebecca is just Rebecca. Like who hates Rebecca? So I would assume it would be Elijah as far as the enemies, and then killed by family would probably be Rebecca, and it would probably be Klaus that did it. So I don't know. I wouldn't. Rebecca and Elijah, of course, always a great team, and then Klaus is just like, we're family, but I'll stab a bitch. I'll stab anybody, actually. Kill my dad, kill my mom, kill both my dads, it doesn't matter. So he'll, of course, all eyes point towards him as the one to kill a family member. But I don't think any of them are going to actually get killed off in this season. I know we'll get the full threat, and it probably has something to do with Lucian and that weird serum he had that counts as a weapon to kill the originals, but this is a great episode. I really loved it. All the interactions were great. It was awesome to get Haley back in this episode. I thought for sure they'd hold that off for a couple more episodes, so it was nice to see that they're kind of back, and then they have a house across the street, and Klaus will never be let in, so that's kind of awesome. And we'll see them kind of build this house up through the season, which I'm looking forward to, unless it's done in the next episode, which I'll be fine with, but it'll be cool to see that happen. And it was an amazing scene with Klaus versus Haley, and just the way it ended emotionally, like even before they saw Hope there, it was just a great just monologue by Haley where she's dealing with Klaus and all of his crap, and it's like, my parents left me, your parents left you, or my parents died, your parents left you, we have nothing, and then we're basically just going to end up killing each other, or one of us is going to kill the other person off. And where does that leave Hope? Like, with just another crappy life where her family destroyed each other, and it was just a great moment for her character. I really love that. And then initially I thought like finally somebody reached Klaus, like he just stopped and kind of realized it, and maybe he did, like even though it was technically because he saw Hope standing there, maybe it was kind of a combination where he did finally realize like, holy crap, maybe we should just get over this crap and I should be less of a douche and just let this weird family be a weird family and just work together to raise my daughter. So I love that scene for Haley for sure. It was just a very great scene and I loved it. I'm looking forward to the next episode for sure. We have some other new random enemy. I don't know who this woman is, but I'm assuming she's a vampire or she's just a very powerful witch. But it seemed like she was a vampire because of the whole super strength thing. So she's coming in from somewhere. I would assume that this has to do with the sideline as well, because she comes in and says like, I'm supposed to offer you a deal. So I'm assuming this comes from either Lucian or it's going to be a brand new character that we haven't seen yet. And it could also be Tristan. It could be Tristan as well. But I'm looking forward to that. As always, this show just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and I can't believe there's another full-on war, and there might be two with witches fighting each other, or really just Davina fighting everyone else. Like, who knows? I don't know, but who knows how that's going to turn out. I'm looking forward to all of these storylines, of course. The last little thing was with Cammy's storyline, and we get a bit of an introduction to the cop who clearly is going to become important. He's looking into things which he should not be looking into, but he might survive. He might become our next main human character, because we really only have Cammy. Everyone else is either killed off or turned into something, so hopefully he gets turned, I guess, because otherwise he is going to die. But we'll see where things go. We'll see how long this stuff with Lucian lasts. He's just killing people just to kill them and be silly and weird, but once again, we'll see where all that stuff goes, and we know she knows that it's Lucian. The cop knows that Lucian fits the profile, and of course that's gonna lead him into some very dangerous territory. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I really love this episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and where do you guys think things are gonna go for Davina's character? Like, aside, despite all of the awesome stuff that happened in this episode, I'm kind of most looking forward to what's going down with Davina, because she's always like in the middle of everything, and right now I feel like this is the first time she's truly had just her own thing happening. Like, she's of course going to be in touch with Marcel, but this is like, at this point in the series, the witches really are just a totally separate component of the series. It's like we have all this stuff, like the wolves and the vampires are kind of blended because of everything from the last season, but the witches have kind of separated from the last season. It's kind of gone in reverse for them, where of course from the beginning of the series they were like completely under control, to the last season where it was like, temporary team ups because of the Guerrero werewolves and all that stuff. And now it's like Davina's in control, witches are just like way over there doing their own thing. So I'm looking forward to it. I think she's gonna get busted, but someone's gonna help her. There's gonna be somebody. I don't know if it'll be another vampire or if it'll be another witch that's like, I don't care, maybe. I don't know why that would happen, but I don't know. She's either going to get help or she just isn't going to get busted, and I'm going with someone's going to help her, and it's going to be a really weird sort of, like, witch massacre type thing where she has to kill off this bloodline of witches, and I don't really know how the ancestors would feel about that. Like, I don't know, but we'll see how it all plays out. And like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.